God is moving. It's Young People Nation.
Welcome to Young People Nation. Listen to us weekly as we commit to bring transparency, healing, and truth to the everyday situations in life that might bring you down. Join us for your weekly dose of inspiration. Thank you for listening to Young People Nation. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And now, here's your host, Eugene and Donna Perry.
Let's go. Christ is the foundation. Know his word gon' lead us. Know I'm already going. Taking steps I believe in. Giving guidance to the youth. Giving guidance to the lost. Giving the world to the project. Lead them back to the cross.
Okay, this is Young People Nation, and we're in session 4 with Kenya and Tiffany. I was ready to say Tiffany and Powers. That was right there on my tip of my tongue. And we just, again, welcome you all back.
Thank you.
For the listening audience who has not had the opportunity to listen to the first 3 podcasts with you guys and go back and listen to Boundaries. And I just see more and more sessions with you guys, man. This because you guys got a wealth of wisdom. And we just thank you for taking time out of your busy family schedule, because you're a family of 6 children. Mm-hmm. So thank you so much for taking time out. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to your children, I always see that you all are so present. Mm-hmm. So this is a major sacrifice, and we thank you for that. Mm-hmm. And again,
maybe you won't be one of the kids.
Oh, you know, and if you need a DJ, let us know.
Let us know.
Oh yeah,
Mr. Kenya is amazing.
Yep.
Yes, he does an amazing job. Amazing. So tap into, if you need a counselor, you need to go on social media to Tiffany and Powers LLC.
Yes.
So there's your references. So we're back for our 4th and final session for this moment. And we're going to talk about how to build a healthy, blended family, owning your mistakes and making corrections to benefit the team. How to build a healthy, blended family and owning your mistakes and making corrections to benefit the team. Mm-hmm. Now, we've talked with you guys. You stated that this is a humble experience and built by grace. Let's talk about the process. Mm-hmm. We talked about it a little bit in the 3rd session.
Right.
So it was a humbling experience. Mm-hmm. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
And built by grace.
Yeah.
For our brother who said he took his counseling.
Camp counseling.
Camp counseling. And came in and took a mustard seed and 9 years later. Look at you.
Yep.
Wow.
Yes.
Yep.
So let's talk about your humbling experience.
Oh man, this is a short one. That's it. It's a humbling experience. The whole journey was humbling. Just coming into the situation, not knowing I was built for it, is just grace.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It was graceful.
Yes.
It was. It just kind of fit. You know what I mean? The girls winded up receiving me in a well manner.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know what I mean? I can talk to them. They can talk to me. Like I said, and it's beautiful that I'm like, oh, y'all didn't talk to your mother? That can't be me. You know what I mean? So those like little stars for me, because you know what I mean?
Right.
It's a little, that makes me
General.
happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because especially when it first started happening, that was my cue to be like, oh, that's my, okay. This,
Right.
It's progression. So it's all grace. I can't even think of a situation to where it's like, okay, this is, I ain't know how I got through it. It is it all. Mm-hmm. It was it all, because we were young and we're not perfect. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We just, I think you keep saying it, and that's it. It's just cooperation.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's just cooperation.
Mm-hmm. And it appears you all have awesome communication.
It appears.
It appears.
It appears.
That word appears.
You see, because when you get
so
down,
funny.
Yeah, and we're not all keeping up with appearances. It's just that we're civil.
Yeah.
Right now, But when it hits the fan, okay, let's talk about it. That's
Yes.
where the real us come out.
But I
where-
love that because that's the transparency. That's
Yeah.
your truth.
Yeah, it's the truth. To where we started, when I met her, I was DJing. It was poetry night. She did a poem. So I say that to say that now communication was hard, especially starting out. So what we used to do is we used to have checkups, and we would literally write it down and slide it across the table.
Okay.
And then she'll read it, and she'll respond, write it down, slide across the table, and I read it. 'Cause
Okay.
you just got to pick up on the cues, guys. You just really got to read the person who you with. So that's why I say I knew she liked poetry, and that's how I know she's at a bad place. Is when she writing poetry, and I would
Okay.
say that was the only time she ever wrote poetry. Yeah,
But see, you learned that.
yeah. So you know, I'm attentive, so I knew to use that to where we can do that.
That's beautiful.
Another thing we still need to kind of implement now, but we used to do it heavy back then because we needed it, was the checkups. We knew that meant we was going to come with the proper etiquette to communicate.
Right.
Because communication was at its all-time low. So we had to have signals to where, okay, at least let's come to the table to talk about some serious things and try to not have a disregard for each other, but a disregard to our kind of selves that's going to come in and throw a wrench into the system.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's one thing that we definitely had to use, and it was just about grace.
Y'all found the grounds of communication, being able to communicate and being home to communicate instead of not bringing your job at home.
That's good.
Yeah. It was always humbling to know that we're going to have to come back to this moment,
Yes.
you know? So that's humbling. There is no, I'm leaving and I'm not coming back. So in that in itself is humbling, because I'm going to have to humble myself to come back in here so we can at least slide the cards across the table.
Right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, you can't ignore it.
You can't ignore it, and you have to be humble enough to even recognize I have to come back to this table. I might not want to, you know, but I need to, and honestly, I have to, because it's not just, even though we're just looking at that little part of that Venn diagram where he and I are standing, there are people outside that are looking at us.
Yes.
Whether we know it or not. And some people are rooting. A lot of people are rooting for us. We are a
Yes.
lot of people's hope.
Yes,
you know?
yes,
And so
yes.
they're like, if they can't make it, my God, we can't. You know,
Right,
people
right,
say
right.
those
People do-
things.
right.
And people are looking at you like that. So to remember that, yes, this is tough. I have to humble myself to look at getting back in there and making sure that this is working, and humble myself enough to see how he's taking things. That's a humbling experience. To not always think about, well, me. You know, what about him? What about what he's thinking? What about how this may be affecting him? And bringing that up. And that is a process in itself, because we are very individualized.
Yes.
But bringing that to we, going from I to we. They said in a book, I think it's a marriage book. It says it takes 7 years for a couple to go from I to we. And so what typically happens at that 5th year of marriage, you're just now turning the curve to where you're coming into a we. And a lot of times that's where marriages start to
Have challenges.
have the challenges, right when you're bending that curve. And
Yes.
because now we're coming into a we, because you've been I for 35 years.
I think
You know?
that just clicked in my head. I think that's a humbling experience right there. Because for me, it was like, you're right. Once you're going through so much, and then it's almost like, got to bring it back to the job. When you're drilling through steel, it gets its hardest right before the breakthrough.
Yeah.
So at that 5th year, of course, you know how many times you're ready to call it quits. And it's like, okay, the humbling experience is, okay, here we are. We got to let that go and try to start fresh. Not even like let it go start fresh, but to be kind of just like, okay, we're just going to dismiss all of that.
Yeah.
Because we see that we're at a better place, but we still holding on to old stuff. And it's that time. It's like wardrobe. It's time to let those old drawers go.
Yes.
It's time. You now here because you got the fresh ones, and we've wore the fresh ones.
You're still trying to hold on.
But
to
we still trying. So
hold.
yeah, it is humbling.
Whoa, the holes in it.
That's right.
You mean I can't keep the one with the holes in it? Man,
Yeah, they feel so comfortable.
that's my favorite
Yeah,
pair.
but you know what?
Shoot.
Nope, in the trash, bro.
In the
That's right.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
right. That's right.
Man, that's painful.
So, how did you all learn the cans and cannots in your process of being a blended family?
Trial and error.
Yeah.
Most definitely. And just respect, man. It all comes down to respect. Once you respect yourself, you respect your lady, you respect your kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everything that you are now viewing in that perspective is going to be nutrition to your family.
I know one guy told me when I was in the service that other people don't realize you don't know what hell a person go home to when they leave the job. I have known people that put themselves on missions and self-deployment just to get away from home. And that kind of atmosphere cannot lead to a healthy relationship. And then you got kids in there too.
That's right.
So you have to ask yourself: is this what I want? And this is a thing too, not just on the male side, but on the female side. Do I want this person? Because we do choose
Yes,
who
absolutely.
we choose to say I do to.
Yes.
They can ask,
You can
but
ask.
ultimately it's our
Right,
decision.
right.
Absolutely.
So, is this what I want? And the little bit I see, is this what I really want?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's unpack that.
I'm a person of need. My wants are subjective. I want a lot, you know.
Yes, she does.
Me
But
too. Me too.
you know, but do I need it?
Right.
And so when I was thinking about marriage, I need this. Every day I don't want to see him every day, and I'm just being honest. Every day we're not like yay. Woohoo. No,
I gotta disagree. I gotta disagree.
But let me finish my
Go
thought
ahead.
though.
Go ahead.
So I may
Y'all
not
funny.
want. Here's the deal. He wants me to make him a sandwich when he comes in. He works long hours, right?
Yes,
and I'm
yes.
like, I don't want to do that. And this is real life. This is real time. So in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to do that. Why can't he just do it when he come in? And he ain't doing them but walking in. He can go in there and make it himself. These are ruminating thoughts in my mind. But there is something in me that says you need to make him that sandwich.
Yes. Yes.
I'm not saying what time you got to do it, but you need to do it because he's asking you to meet a need. Doesn't
like
matter
that.
what you want.
I love that.
Do what you need because that speaks to him and that's for him. He has enough white clothes. This is true to sell in a Walmart by himself. I've never seen people with so many white clothes,
White tees.
t-shirts, socks. It's like unbelievable. And I tell him, I'm not washing your white clothes. So he washes them. And then I says, I'm not folding them. And then it's like, I don't want to fold them. And they'll be there. And I'm like, I don't want to fold them. But then there's something in me that says, you need
Yes.
to fold them.
Yes.
Fold them.
Yes.
Because he can come in any day and say, Tiff, I don't want to do this with you. I don't want to put gas in the car. I don't want to cut the grass. I don't want to fix the fence. I don't want to give you money and you going on all these trips. But you know what? I need to. Because,
That's good.
because that's what we are supposed to do for each other. And that's what marriage is about. We got to move from a what do I want to what do I need. And I think when we get into the need mindset, we're able to move into our true marriage is, because I'm meeting the need for him because God is looking at me.
Yes.
Because God can say, oh, I don't want to spare your life today, but I need to.
See,
Right.
you speaking in double entendres right there. See, we need to put down the want and get the need.
Yeah.
So you also saying, you know what, I need to put away what I want to do and do what I need to do.
Do what I need
So
to
it's
do.
both
Yeah.
like receiving and giving.
Correct.
Yes, yes,
Correct.
that's good.
Correct.
So that was great unpacking. We talked about the Suburban,
Yeah.
right? I may
Yeah.
want the Suburban, but did I need a Suburban?
Right.
No, I did not.
Thank God.
But stay tuned. But still, we go back to that want or need. Yeah. You understand? You understand?
Yeah.
And so you had to learn the can and cannots. I want to tap into that again. What did you learn, Tiff?
Do what you can. Do what you can to help this entire situation. And that ties into what do I need to do? Can I do it? And then just do it.
Yes.
Period. Not always what you can't do and what I don't want to do, because it is counterproductive. Because if you can't do it, then right, I might not have the time to do it now, right? Or I literally just cannot do it, and I honor that and I respect that. But if I can do it, then just do it.
Yes.
Period.
And that little gesture, you never know how that just turns into this
Right.
blossoming flower
Right.
in that person's
Right.
life and to build them.
Right.
Now, I know, and the other thing with that, if you didn't do it, don't let it worry you out to the ends of the earth. And just because she didn't bring you those kibble and bits that you hold that against her the rest of your life,
Yeah.
like the world had just ended because I ain't get my kibbles and bits.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, see, I'm not a affectionate person. I'm just
Okay.
not. I just think you shouldn't. I love you. You should know that. I told you. I'm here. But he needs that.
Yes.
And so it was a struggle for me.
Okay.
It wasn't. And it wasn't that. Here it is. I am an affectionate person. I was taught not to be.
Okay.
One, right? And so here it is. God literally places me with somebody who
That's
needs
affectionate.
affection.
Yes.
And I'm like, for real? Like, I'm struggling with that. And he's like, yeah, that's why I gave him to you, because
Yes.
you need to go back and allow me to heal that and unlock that for you.
Yes.
And this is the person that you're going to do that with.
Yes.
And so and I had to tell myself, it's not that you can't, it's that you won't. You don't want to, because that it's that little naggy
Stubbornness.
thing in there. And so I have to train myself to say you can. And it's simple as giving a hug. It is really, right? Look, folks, I am as real as it comes.
Yes, she is.
And
Yes.
and it is hard. And I'm grateful that he is here, because a lot of people could not deal with me.
Yes. He's
Honestly,
grace for you.
He is really truly grace to
Yes.
understand that, you know what, one day she gonna give me that hug.
Yes.
So
And now you get it. Do you give it?
Like a little Paul Puppy. It's really to the lines of, before marriage, after marriage. It was a really big transition. I would say I am kind of, I told it, it's crazy because we all kind of built for each other. I am not really a patient person, but I've been kind of equipped with this, you know what, I can't stay mad at her long. I really can't. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I just don't. And I'm patient with her.
Yeah.
So even like I said, you would think like out of all that I do, it would be innate for you to reciprocate certain things. And that's one thing I learned. You can't do things just for the reciprocation.
Yeah.
So let me try it.
Even though we know it's balance.
Yes.
So even though that may not be happening, that's not going to stop from what I can do. And I like to finish that, because we always say what we can,
Right.
and then we say what we can't do. We finish it with that action word. So I know, like, a lot of times, and this used to be my pet peeve about, I'm like, yo, babe, can you do this? She'd be like, I can. And it's like, okay, that's a cop-out. That's a cop-out. Will you? Are you? So I always like to, just like she said, if you can, just do. Just do
Yes.
it. You know what I mean? And honestly, in a marriage, that's all you got to do. That's it. If you can do it, just do it.
And
Let me try this then. I really want that Hellcat.
talk to God. He on everything. Talk to God. He on everything.
But yeah, on an affectionate person, man, let me tell you something. That what I disagreed with earlier was the fact that, man, you talk about, I ain't gonna say that story because you know what I mean. It's not a story, but it's just real,
Right.
And you know, when we met, we was always together. We spent a lot of time together.
Right.
Kenya, where you going? And that's always
Yeah.
what she used to say. I mean, Kenya, where you going? So what she putting on now is a place where she's at now after all these years of marriage, and it's like I get it, I get it.
Yes.
But you know what I mean? We affection. She's always been affectionate. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be here if she wasn't affectionate with me from the beginning. But there was a change
Yes.
after marriage. There was a change after kids.
Right.
And to, like I said, to be fully honest and transparent, that was the journey, and that develops into what I can and what I can't do. And what I realized through that was, okay, this is what I can do. In trying to, I don't want to say deal with it, but okay, what can I do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it was like, okay, what can I do? In the sense of, okay, this is what's going on. I still can't let my guard down. I still can't. I'm not going to be petty because this is what's going on. I can't meet her there.
Right.
You know what I mean? We still got to push forward, and she comes around. You know what I mean? And it's not to say like it's her fault, but we understand. If this is what you're dealing with, I have to be the other part of the iron to sharpen.
Yes.
You.
That's good.
I wanted to share everything with my wife. I used to tell her, we got a 4-mile road march tomorrow. Come with me.
I'll be praying for you. No, I was not in the military. I'll make sure everything is ready. Your bath is ready. Because, again, I had to learn
But
to
I
be
just
a
wanted to
military
share.
wife.
I just wanted to share.
Well, your feet would be hurting. So you sharing, yeah. But I want to, because we're about to wrap up in a little bit, and we're talking about the blended family and owning your mistakes and making corrections to benefit the team. Kenya, you said in our last session that you let your daughters know that you're not there to replace their biological father. And so I want you both, this is going to be kind of a 2-part discussion about how you informed your daughters that you're not there to replace their biological father. And both of you, the mental challenge of this, and what do you do to get help?
Okay, I guess I'll go first on that. There wasn't really any mental challenge about it. Just being a man, and at the time I wasn't a father, but just being a man, I was an advocate for fathers. I mean, you know what I mean? Naturally, that's what it is. To kind of get them to understand that I'm not here to replace them, it was just as literal as me telling them that. You know, when you are clear with your intentions, people will hear it.
Yes.
Then when you show them your intentions, they will see it.
Right.
So, and that's all I had to do. I said it, and then I showed them it, and it was that easy.
And I like what you just said. You're clear. Your motives was pure.
Kept it real.
And so they discern that. That's key. Because children, we don't give them enough credit.
Right.
They are able to pick up falsehood
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
You know, even an infant that's not talking.
That's right.
Yeah. Yes. So, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of what Kenya said, just always made it clear with them that, they had access to their biological father and their grandmother and all of that. There was no ever cut off, never.
Yeah.
Because that's just not how I wanted to raise them. And then when he came into our lives, that was consistent. And so to have him on board with that and understanding that just made it very easy. So there was never any mental challenge when it came to putting that information out there. We were on a united front from the beginning as it related to making sure that Brianna and Maya always understood that he had a role, allow him to play the role, and also understand you still have access to your relationship with your father. And just making sure that was clear across the board all the time, on all consistency. That's what it is. Even with their younger siblings, they say, "Oh, I have how many grandmas?"
How many grandmas?
They say I have 4 or 5 grandmothers because they include
That's good.
Brianna and Maya's grandmother, and see, it had to come to a point where we had to have that conversation with them because they're asking because they're trying to understand it. Like wait a minute, and so you have to be transparent with them.
They ask the question of, okay, how is that the grandma if you're the daddy? And okay, well, I'm not their literal biological father. So once you break it down, and they're like, oh, okay. And they just need clarity.
Right.
Yes.
And no
That's
fluff
good.
with them because here it is. If they have the mental capacity to form the question,
Yes.
then you should have the mental capacity to give them the answer in the way that they understand it.
Right.
You know, and they're like, oh, and so that's why they're like, so we have such and such, so many grandmas.
That's right.
And
if you're willing to accept it, they're willing to accept it.
right.
Right.
That's
And
good.
when you're willing to reject something, they're willing to reject it.
That's right.
And that goes back to them accepting a step parent.
Right.
Yes.
You as a biological parent has to accept them being an authority, and not getting. Now this is nuts, but I see it all the time. Like if you watch the little Facebook videos and things, to where an argument happens, and it's like, well, you're not their daddy anyway. It's the spite.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You know what I
Exactly.
mean? And it's like the kids see that, so now that's how they carry on.
Yes.
Right.
So I'm glad we didn't have to deal with any of that.
And you also, what I'm picking up, you earned their respect.
That's right.
You couldn't come in saying, "Look, do what I tell you to do," and that's it. You understand? You came in there with some wisdom, and you said, "Wait a minute, let me observe and see," because they're two different individuals.
They are.
Right.
Two different personalities.
And wanted to body slam both of them. But
you know you better not.
Yeah, of
'cause
course
you know what
not.
they
Of
want,
course not.
right?
Yeah, of course not.
Shoot, man.
But you have to be strong. You gotta be
Yeah.
strong.
Yes, yes.
And
Wow.
whatever conversation you having, you think they ain't listening.
That's right.
They'll pick it up and repeat
Yeah.
what
And
you said. Like one of our relatives, called his mom a clown.
Wow.
Oh, stop it.
And we just want,
so
for
funny.
all of our children to know that we see them on the all same playing field.
Right.
Okay. That's
There is
good.
no separation.
Yes.
You are older, so we expect something a little bit from you different because you are older.
Yes.
Right.
And what the older one does, the younger one cannot do on that plan. And so we are very strong as it relates to letting all of them know, from the 25-year-old down to the 5-year-old. We're the parents,
And what we're going to do is age appropriate.
and what
Yes.
we're
Right.
going to do
That's
is
good.
age appropriate. And we love you. We respect you. And what we do for a 5-year-old now,
Yeah,
we're
we
not
gonna
going to do
talk
for
to
the
the
25-year-old.
25-year-old.
Right, right.
We're going to talk to you a
You
little
Past
different
that,
than
right.
a 5-year-old.
And we're gonna require different things from you because of it. And I think they are understanding that. And I always tell even my oldest daughters, if you see that I'm doing something with your siblings that I didn't do with you, forgive me. My bad. I was, but don't hold that to me. When you have children, do better than I did. Because I didn't know any better.
Yes.
I did what I knew.
Right.
And by the grace of God, you are here to do better than me.
That's
if
good.
if you see me reading books or whatever it is, go read. And I didn't read to you. Don't hold that to me, because that's gonna block you because you pissed at me.
Yes.
Don't do that to yourself. Because I've forgiven myself for it and I've moved on.
That's powerful.
And
there.
I want you to say, you know what? She did the best she could when I was there. And she's showing me at this point in her life how a husband should be,
Yes.
how a father should be. And I'm going to take that and make better decisions for myself.
knowing what right looks like.
Knowing what right. That's why I said
Right.
in the very first session, it's not how it started. It's where we are right now.
Yes.
And that's what we have to take an account for. We started one way,
Yes.
And by the grace of God, we are here. Take this example and go and do better than what we've done, because it happens.
Yes.
And don't hold us accountable. Hold us accountable, but don't hold it to us to where we may have said something that have offended you. You're taking things personal, and it's not personal. It's just where we were at that time.
Yes.
Forgive us.
Yes.
Forgive yourself.
Yes.
Move on.
Yes.
And go do better than
live.
what we've done, and live.
Yes.
Yes. Wow, this has been really, really good. I tell you, I have learned a lot, and I hope the listening audience who are blended family, again, is taking this wisdom and seeing if it fits with your, and do the self-assessment first. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
Because perhaps you're operating in a zone with that child that you don't have the grace for.
That's right.
And so what I'm picking up is that you just need to sit back and work together and pay attention to where you fit in.
And if you need to get some additional assistance, you can. There are therapists, there are licensed marriage family therapists out there that work extensively with blended families. Don't be afraid to seek out that help, because we are here and we are here to help you, and they can give you tools and tips structured for your particular situation. Everybody's situation is different. And you may hear something that we've said, you chew the meat.
Yeah.
And you spit the bone, right?
Yes.
Take what you think you can apply it. If not, reach out. Look at your EAP services, those employment services that you may have through your job that may be able to help you get into that family counseling, to help you become a better structured family when it comes to blending your family. The resources are out there. We just have to be willing to do the work to get to it.
Tiffany Empowers, LLC. Okay? Yes, she's great. Now, also, I just want to encourage our young ladies and young men that you're already parents. Listen to this over and over again, and just know that you're doing the very best you can, and just know that you're doing the best you can. But when your person comes in your life, just recognize the moment and that person and who they are and what they're going to bring to make your world better.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, again, we never know who's listening, and so we are a mental health form of a platform at this. Well, a lot of things, but mental health, and we want to put out the number for the 988 hotline, the 741-741 free 24/7 crisis counseling, and also there's a 211 for general community resources. So, again, this has been great. Mr. Perry?
Remember, families come in all shapes and sizes and organization. And a family is just like a fist. When you got it balled up, it's complete. It's one finger is removed from it, that family falls. It affects every member. This is one of the things that we really got to focus on as a society. And remember, are you living your life or are you just existing? This has been Young People Nation. Remember, there's always hope.
Let's go. Christ is the foundation. Know His word gon' lead us. Know I'm already going. Taking steps I believe in. Giving guidance to the youth. Giving guidance to the lost. Give the world to the project. Lead them back to the cross. He the number one prospect. He the top boss. I was broke, I was empty. He the one that paid the cost. Really thought that I was cool. There was nothing like the Savior. Now it's time for the truth. The whole world been waiting. It's Young People Nation. 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 The whole world been waiting. Whatever you going through, I know what He gonna do. Don't matter the circumstance, we going back to the root. Keep going, keep going. Let that seed keep growing. You need peace and we know it. Now it's time to live holy. Young People Nation. You know what time it is. Young People Nation. Get ready, the time is here. Get ready, we vibing here. We about to let God in here. Young People Nation. It's Young People Nation. Yeah, do it for the heavens, you know where we going. Influenced by His love, you know we gotta show it. It's time to put the youth onto what God is doing. Cause I can tell you now, right now, that God is moving. It's Young People Nation.